Have you ever wondered why some women keep chasing love, while others never have to? Why does one woman become unforgettable even in silence, while another is taken for granted despite giving everything? The answer is not beauty, luck, or manipulation. It is one boundary that quietly transforms respect into deep emotional attachment. Stay with me, and by the end of this journey, you will understand the one boundary that makes a man value, pursue, and never willingly lose the woman who truly knows her worth. 1. The boundary that separates self-worth from approval. There is a quiet truth that many people spend their entire lives trying to understand. They believe love is something that must be earned. They believe if they become more beautiful, more patient, more available, more forgiving, then someone will finally choose them completely. But the heart does not work this way. Love may begin with attraction, but lasting love is built upon respect. And respect begins the moment you stop asking another person to decide your value. Look closely at the world around you. How many people are exhausted because they are constantly trying to prove themselves? They change their personality to fit someone else's expectations. They hide their opinions to avoid conflict. They say yes when every part of them wants to say no. They tolerate disrespect because they fear losing someone. This is not love. This is fear wearing the mask of love. The greatest boundary you will ever build is the invisible line between your self-worth and someone else's approval. Most people confuse these two things. They think, if he texts me, I am valuable. If he chooses me, I matter. If he stays, I am enough. But what happens when he becomes distant? Suddenly your confidence disappears, your peace disappears, your happiness disappears. Can something so fragile truly be called self-worth? Real self-worth cannot be borrowed. It cannot be gifted by another person. It cannot be taken away by rejection. It exists before anyone arrives. Imagine a mountain. Storms come, snow falls, the wind screams against its surface. Yet the mountain does not move. Why? Because its strength comes from within itself, not from the weather. Become like that mountain. When someone appreciates you, smile with gratitude. When someone misunderstands you, remain calm. When someone walks away, let them walk. Your value has not changed. Many women unknowingly give away this power. Instead of asking, does this relationship bring me peace? They ask, how can I make him stay? Notice the difference. One question protects dignity, the other sacrifices it. The moment your happiness depends on convincing someone to love you, you have already crossed your own boundary. And once that boundary disappears, respect quietly leaves with it. People often ask why certain women seem unforgettable. It is not because they are the loudest, not because they are the most beautiful, not because they demand attention. It is because they never negotiate with their own dignity. They can love deeply without abandoning themselves. This is rare, very rare. The world teaches people to chase. Wisdom teaches people to attract. The person who constantly seeks approval unknowingly tells others, my opinion of myself depends on yours. But the woman rooted in self-worth silently communicates something very different. I appreciate your presence, but I do not require your permission to feel complete. Do you feel the difference? One energy begs, the other simply exists. Human beings naturally respect those who respect themselves, not because it is manipulation, because confidence creates emotional safety. People trust those who trust themselves. Think about a river. Does it stop flowing because one person refuses to drink from it? No. It continues moving toward the ocean. Likewise, your life must continue flowing. Do not build your entire identity around one person's attention. Build it around your purpose, your values, your inner peace. One of the greatest mistakes is believing boundaries push people away. Healthy boundaries do the opposite. They reveal who truly belongs. Anyone can remain when you sacrifice yourself, but only the right person remains when you honor yourself. There is a profound difference. If someone leaves because you refuse disrespect, They were never leaving because of your boundary. They were leaving because they could no longer benefit from your lack of one. Never confuse these things. Many relationships fail long before they end. Why? Because one person slowly disappears. They stop expressing their needs. They stop protecting their peace. They stop being themselves. Eventually, they look into the mirror and no longer recognize the face staring back. This is the hidden cost of seeking approval. You lose yourself before you lose the relationship. True wisdom whispers something very different. You are allowed to disappoint people if pleasing them requires betraying yourself. Read that again inside your heart. You are allowed to disappoint people, not because you enjoy conflict, but because protecting your soul is more important than protecting everyone's expectations. Silence becomes powerful here. Not angry silence, not cold silence, peaceful silence. The silence that says, I know who I am. This kind of confidence cannot be acted, it is lived. And strangely, the less desperately you seek validation, the more naturally respect begins to find you. Because people notice stability, they notice calmness, they notice emotional strength. Without saying a word, your boundaries begin speaking for you. But there is another truth that surprises almost everyone. Self-worth alone is not enough. There is something else that quietly changes the way a man sees a woman forever. Why men treasure what cannot be emotionally controlled. Observe human nature carefully. The mind often chases what it cannot easily possess, not because difficulty is attractive, but because certainty without effort slowly becomes invisible. This does not apply only to relationships. It applies to almost everything in life. People protect what they fear losing. They appreciate what cannot be replaced. Yet many relationships begin with unlimited giving, unlimited availability, unlimited emotional access. Everything is offered immediately. Nothing is discovered gradually. And then people wonder why appreciation fades. Imagine entering a beautiful garden. Would you admire every flower if someone picked them all and placed them at your feet? Probably not. Part of beauty comes from discovering it. Respect grows through patience, not through endless availability. Now be careful. This is not a lesson about becoming cold. It is not about pretending not to care. Games create confusion. Wisdom creates clarity. There is a difference. The woman who cannot be emotionally controlled is not difficult. She is simply centered. Her emotions are not controlled by someone's mood. If he replies late, she does not panic. If he disagrees, she does not lose herself. If he has a difficult day, she remains compassionate without absorbing his chaos. This emotional independence is deeply attractive. Why? Because stability is rare. Most people react. Few people respond. Reaction comes from fear. Response comes from awareness. Imagine standing before a calm lake. Throw a stone. Ripples appear. But eventually the water becomes still again. Now imagine standing before an ocean during a storm. Every small disturbance creates massive waves. Which one reflects the sky more clearly? The calm lake. Likewise, a peaceful mind reflects wisdom. An emotional storm reflects fear. Many women unintentionally train people to control them. How? By rewarding inconsistent behavior. If attention disappears, they chase. If affection decreases, they give even more. If respect weakens, they lower their standards. Notice what happens. The relationship slowly teaches the other person. I can treat you however I wish because you will always stay. This is not love. This is emotional imbalance. Real love requires freedom, not control. If someone knows they can manipulate your emotions with silence, then your happiness is already in their hands. Take it back. Not through anger, not through revenge, through awareness. Your peace must belong to you, no one else. The strongest woman in the room is rarely the loudest. She is often the calmest. Her confidence does not depend on winning every conversation. She does not rush to explain herself. She does not chase misunderstandings. She knows truth eventually reveals itself. There is extraordinary strength in emotional patience. People who master themselves become impossible to manipulate. This is why emotionally mature women appear mysterious. Not because they hide, because they do not react impulsively. They observe, they breathe, they understand. Every pause protects their peace. Every calm response protects their dignity. Think about bamboo. During powerful storms it bends, it does not break. Flexibility is not weakness, it is intelligence. Likewise, emotional strength is not about suppressing feelings. It is about choosing when those feelings deserve your energy. Some people enter your life only to test your boundaries. Others enter to honor them. Your responsibility is not convincing everyone to stay. Your responsibility is recognizing the difference. Remember this, people respect emotional consistency because it creates trust. No one feels safe inside constant emotional chaos. When your inner world becomes peaceful, you stop reacting to every external event. You begin living from your values instead of your fears. And that changes everything. But emotional stability alone still leaves one hidden danger. There is another habit that silently weakens even the strongest hearts. 3. Stop overgiving, the silent power of emotional balance. One of the greatest misunderstandings about love is this. People believe giving more always creates deeper connection, so they give more time, more energy, more forgiveness, more understanding, more chances. Until one day they look inside themselves and there is nothing left. Love should never feel like slowly disappearing. Yet this happens every day. Overgiving rarely begins with weakness. It often begins with kindness. A generous heart wants to help. A compassionate soul wants to understand. These qualities are beautiful, but even beautiful qualities become dangerous when they exist without wisdom. Imagine holding a cup beneath a waterfall. Eventually the cup overflows. Now imagine pouring that same cup into every container around you while never filling it again. Soon, it becomes empty. How can an empty cup continue giving water? It cannot. The same is true for your heart. Many people confuse sacrifice with love. They believe, if I keep giving enough, eventually I will receive the same. But love is not a business transaction. Healthy relationships are not built through emotional exhaustion. They are built through shared responsibility. Notice nature once more. The tree gives fruit, but it also keeps its roots. If the tree tears out its own roots to feed others, nothing survives. Likewise, never sacrifice the very foundation that keeps your spirit alive. Some women become everything for everyone. They become the therapist, the rescuer, the problem solver, the emotional shelter, but they forget one person, themselves. Then they wonder why they feel invisible, because people often notice what is constantly available only after it disappears. This is not cruelty, it is human nature. Scarcity creates awareness. Constant availability creates assumption. That is why emotional balance matters. Balance says, I care deeply, but I also care for myself. These two truths must exist together, otherwise love becomes dependency. Healthy love allows breathing, it allows silence, it allows separate growth, it allows individual purpose. Two complete people walking together, not two incomplete people trying to become one. Many relationships become heavy because one person carries both emotional lives. They solve every problem, initiate every conversation, repair every disagreement, maintain every connection. Eventually fatigue replaces affection, resentment replaces peace, not because love disappeared, because balance disappeared. The woman who understands balance knows something profound. She is willing to give, but she also allows others the dignity of giving back. She does not rob someone of the opportunity to invest, because investment creates value. Think carefully. Why do people treasure something they helped build? Because effort creates attachment. The same principle exists in relationships. When only one person invests, only one person feels responsible. Do not carry what belongs to two shoulders. Walk beside someone. Do not drag them behind you. Do not carry them ahead of you. Simply walk together. There is another quiet habit of emotionally wise women. They are not afraid of empty space. If a conversation pauses, they do not panic. If someone needs time, they remain peaceful. If life becomes busy, they continue building their own life because they understand that fulfillment never comes from another person alone. It comes from becoming deeply connected to yourself. This changes your entire presence. Instead of asking, "What can I do so he never leaves?" you begin asking, "Does this relationship honor the woman I am becoming?" That single question transforms everything. It shifts your attention away from fear and toward truth. Remember, the strongest boundary is not built with walls. It is built with wisdom. It quietly reminds the world, "I can love you deeply without losing myself." And when a woman reaches this place, something remarkable begins to happen. She no longer needs to demand respect. Her presence begins to command it naturally. Yet there is one boundary even more powerful than this, one that determines whether respect lasts for a moment or grows stronger with every passing day. 4. Boundaries that inspire respect instead of resistance. There is a common misunderstanding about boundaries. Many people believe that if they set strong boundaries, others will see them as cold, difficult, or selfish. So instead of protecting themselves, they remain silent. They smile when something hurts. They agree when their heart says no. They tolerate behavior that slowly steals their peace, and then one day, they wonder why they feel invisible. But understand this: a boundary is not a wall. A boundary is a doorway. It tells people how they may enter your life. It does not push people away. It simply asks them to enter with respect. Imagine a beautiful temple standing quietly on top of a mountain. Its doors are open, anyone may enter. But no one walks inside wearing muddy shoes. No one shouts. No one destroys the sacred space. Why? Because the place itself teaches people how to behave. You must become like that temple. Your presence should quietly communicate. This is a peaceful place. Respect is welcome. Disrespect cannot stay. Something interesting. The people who become angry when you create healthy boundaries are often the same people who benefited from you having none. This truth is uncomfortable, but wisdom is rarely comfortable. If someone becomes upset because you refuse disrespect, they are not reacting to your boundary, they are reacting to losing control. There is an enormous difference. Many women spend years trying to avoid disappointing others. They answer every message immediately. They cancel their own plans. They ignore their own exhaustion. They keep giving chances long after trust has been broken. Not because they are weak, because they fear being misunderstood. But let me ask you something. If protecting your peace causes someone to leave, was their presence ever peaceful? Think carefully. Real love does not punish healthy boundaries. Real love feels safer because of them. When two emotionally mature people meet, boundaries do not create distance. They create clarity. Each person knows where respect begins. There is no guessing, no manipulation, no emotional games, only honesty. This is why boundaries are acts of kindness, not only toward yourself, but toward the relationship, because hidden resentment quietly destroys what honest communication could have healed. Many people remain silent until one day they explode. Months of ignored pain suddenly become one loud argument. The other person says, "I never knew you felt this way." And perhaps they truly did not. Why? Because silence hides truth. Calm communication reveals it. A wise woman does not wait until her heart is overflowing with frustration. She speaks early, she speaks gently, she speaks clearly, not to control another person, but to remain truthful with herself. This requires courage. Many people fear uncomfortable conversations, yet avoiding discomfort today often creates suffering tomorrow. Think of a small crack in a wall. At first, it is almost invisible. You ignore it. Weeks pass, months pass, rain enters, the crack grows. Eventually, the entire wall begins to weaken. Relationships work the same way. Small acts of disrespect become larger ones when ignored. Not because people are evil, Because unspoken behavior slowly becomes accepted behavior. People repeat what receives permission. This is why your boundaries teach others how to treat you, not through force, through consistency. Imagine someone speaks harshly to you. You remain calm. You do not attack. You do not insult. You simply say, "I will continue this conversation when we can both speak respectfully." Then you become silent. Notice what happened. You did not argue. You did not surrender. You simply protected your peace. This is emotional mastery. Many people believe strength looks loud. True strength is often quiet. The tree with the deepest roots does not need to prove its stability. It simply remains standing. Likewise, you do not need endless explanations every time you protect yourself. Sometimes a simple sentence carries enormous power. No, that does not work for me. I choose something different. These words are small, yet they protect an entire life. There is another mistake many people make. They explain their boundaries again and again and again, hoping everyone will understand. But wisdom knows something different. Boundaries are not debates, they are decisions. You are not asking permission to protect your peace. You are informing others how you choose to live. Some will respect it immediately. Others will test it. This is natural. Watch carefully during these moments. Do not only listen to words, observe actions. Anyone can promise change. Character is revealed through consistency. Trust grows slowly, like a tree, not like fireworks. Fireworks are loud, beautiful, exciting. Then they disappear. A tree grows quietly, year after year, storm after storm, until one day its roots become impossible to move. Respect grows exactly the same way. Small promises kept, small acts repeated, small moments of honesty. Day after day, many women accidentally weaken their own boundaries by making exceptions every time emotions become difficult. They say, "This is the last time." Then another last time arrives, and another. Eventually their words lose power, not because people ignore them, because inconsistency teaches others that every boundary is negotiable. Remember this carefully. Every time you abandon your own boundary, you silently teach yourself that your peace is optional. Never make your peace optional. Protect it with calmness, protect it with patience, protect it without guilt. There is no anger in healthy boundaries. There is only clarity, and clarity removes confusion. One of the most peaceful people you will ever meet is someone who no longer fears saying no. Not because they enjoy rejection, because they understand something profound. Every no spoken with wisdom creates space for a more meaningful yes. When you stop saying yes to disrespect, you begin saying yes to dignity. When you stop saying yes to emotional chaos, you begin saying yes to peace. When you stop saying yes to fear, you begin saying yes to freedom. That is the hidden gift of boundaries. They do not make your world smaller. They make your world cleaner. Suddenly relationships become lighter. Conversations become more honest. Your heart becomes quieter. You no longer wonder where you stand. You already know. But there is one boundary even more difficult than saying no. It is knowing exactly when your silence must become your goodbye. 5. How walking away at the right time creates lasting attraction. There is a sentence many people fear more than almost anything else. It is time to leave. Not because leaving is painful, because staying feels familiar, even when staying hurts. The human mind often chooses familiar pain over unfamiliar freedom. It tells itself, maybe things will change. Maybe if I try harder. Maybe one more chance. Sometimes hope becomes a beautiful prison. Hope is powerful, but hope without reality becomes self-deception. Wisdom asks a different question, not, can this person change? But, are they choosing to? There is an enormous difference. People can change, but no one changes because another person suffers enough. They change when they decide to. Many women remain in relationships long after respect has disappeared, not because they cannot see the truth, because they remember the beginning, the beautiful conversations, the promises, the laughter, the dreams. They fall in love with memories while ignoring reality. But life is lived in the present, not in yesterday. Imagine holding a rope. At first it feels light. Then someone ties heavy stones to the other end. You keep holding. Your hands begin hurting. Your shoulders become tired. Your entire body aches. Still, you refuse to let go. Eventually you believe the pain belongs to you. No, the pain belongs to the weight you refuse to release. Sometimes letting go is not losing. Sometimes letting go is returning to yourself. This is one of the hardest lessons in life. People often think walking away is weakness, but ask yourself, does it require more courage to remain where you are slowly disappearing, or to step into the unknown while protecting your dignity? The answer becomes clear. Walking away is not about punishment. It is about alignment. It is choosing peace over attachment. Many people hear the phrase, "If you love someone, never give up." But wisdom adds another sentence. If loving someone requires giving up yourself, it is no longer love. Read that slowly inside your heart. The greatest relationships are not built upon sacrifice alone. They are built upon mutual effort, mutual respect, mutual responsibility. Without these, one person carries everything and eventually collapses. There is something deeply attractive about a person who knows when to leave, not because they create drama, because they refuse to betray themselves. This quiet confidence changes how others see them. When someone realizes, "You cannot be controlled by fear of losing me," they begin seeing your strength differently. Notice something interesting. The person who is willing to walk away peacefully often speaks the least. There are no endless arguments, no desperate speeches, no emotional begging, only quiet certainty. I have done what I could. Oh, and now I choose peace. Those words carry extraordinary power because they come from acceptance. Acceptance is not giving up. Acceptance is seeing reality clearly. Many people continue fighting battles that ended long ago, not because victory is possible, because acceptance feels painful. But refusing reality never changes reality. It only delays healing. Think about autumn. Every year the trees release their leaves. They do not cling desperately. They do not beg each leaf to remain. They let go because they trust another season will come. Human beings fear letting go because they forget this natural law. Life always creates space for something new, but only after we release what no longer belongs. Holding on to unhealthy relationships often blocks healthier ones from entering. Not because destiny is cruel, because your hands are already full. How can life give you something new if you refuse to release what is hurting you? Walking away is also an act of self-respect. It tells your own heart, I will not ask you to survive where you cannot breathe. That sentence alone can change an entire life. Remember, you are teaching yourself every single day how much you deserve. Not through words, through decisions. Each decision becomes a message. Each message becomes a belief. Each belief becomes your reality. The woman who repeatedly chooses herself during difficult moments develops an inner confidence that cannot be purchased. She no longer fears loneliness because she has discovered something greater, the peace of her own company. Loneliness disappears when you become a friend to yourself. Then something unexpected happens. You stop chasing love. You start recognizing it. You stop begging for attention. You start attracting respect. You stop fearing endings. You begin trusting new beginnings. This quiet transformation is impossible to fake. People feel it before they understand it. They notice your calmness, your patience, your confidence, not because you became harder, because you became whole. And when someone becomes whole, they no longer ask, who will choose me? They quietly become the kind of person others are afraid to lose. Yet even this is not the deepest boundary of all. There is one final inner shift that turns respect into lasting devotion. One that begins where fear ends and unshakable self-worth truly begins. 6. The unshakable woman every man fears losing. There is a question that quietly lives inside many hearts. How do I become unforgettable? Some believe the answer is beauty, others believe it is perfection. Some think it is always saying the right words, always looking attractive, always being available, always giving more. But none of these create lasting love. They may capture attention, they may create excitement, but they do not create permanence. The people who remain unforgettable are rarely the ones who tried the hardest to impress. They are the ones who remain deeply connected to themselves. This is the greatest boundary of all. The boundary that says, I will never abandon who I am in order to keep someone who is not meant for me. Read those words slowly, feel them, because this single decision changes everything. Many people spend years trying to become someone they think another person wants. Little by little, they speak differently, dress differently, think differently, dream differently, until one day they realize they have become a stranger to themselves, and no relationship is worth that price. A person who truly values you does not ask you to erase yourself. They invite the real you to become even stronger. There is something deeply peaceful about a woman who no longer needs to perform. She laughs naturally, she speaks honestly, she rests without guilt, she says no without fear. She says yes without pretending. She no longer lives inside other people's opinions. She lives inside her own truth. This kind of woman carries a quiet energy. She does not enter a room asking for attention. She enters a room bringing peace, and peace has a strange power. Everyone feels it. Very few understand it. Think of the moon. The moon never announces its arrival. It does not compete with the stars. It simply appears, and the entire night changes. Become like that. Do not compete. Do not chase. Do not compare. Simply become, because becoming is always more powerful than proving. Many people spend their lives proving they are enough, proving they deserve love, proving they are worthy. But proof is only needed when doubt exists. The woman who knows herself no longer needs constant confirmation. She understands something most people overlook. Worth is not created by attention. Worth is revealed by character. Imagine holding a diamond. Would it become worthless because someone failed to recognize it? Of course not. Its value remains the same. Only the observer failed to see it. Remember this whenever someone cannot appreciate your heart. Their inability to recognize your value does not reduce it. Never allow another person's blindness to become your identity. There is another quality that makes an unshakable woman unforgettable. She is emotionally consistent. Today she is kind. Tomorrow she is kind. Next month she is still kind. Not because life is always easy, because kindness has become part of her character. Consistency builds trust. People feel safe around those whose values remain steady. Anyone can be loving when life is comfortable. Character is revealed when life becomes difficult. Notice the strongest trees, they do not become trees during the storm. The storm simply reveals how deeply they were already rooted. The same is true for you. Challenges do not create your character, they reveal it. So when disappointment arrives, remain truthful. When misunderstandings appear, remain calm. When someone leaves, remain respectful. Not because they deserve your peace, because you do. There is enormous freedom in this. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack for years. Inside are old arguments, old disappointments, old betrayals, old regrets. Each year the bag becomes heavier, yet you continue carrying it. One day someone asks, "Why don't you put it down?" And suddenly you realize, no one forced you to carry it this long. Many people remain trapped by yesterday, but the unshakable woman understands something extraordinary. She learns, she forgives, then she continues walking. Forgiveness does not always mean returning. Sometimes forgiveness simply means refusing to carry unnecessary weight. This is wisdom. People often confuse softness with weakness, but water teaches a different lesson. Water is gentle, yet over time, it shapes mountains, it creates valleys, it changes landscapes, not through force, through consistency. Likewise, gentleness guided by wisdom becomes one of the strongest forces on earth. The unshakable woman does not harden her heart because someone disappointed her. She protects it without closing it. This balance is rare, very rare. Many people choose one extreme. Either they trust everyone or they trust no one. Wisdom walks the middle path, trust slowly, observe patiently, love fully, once character has been revealed. There is another quiet habit of emotionally mature women. They celebrate their own life. Their happiness is not postponed until someone loves them. They travel, they learn, they laugh, they create, they grow, not because they reject relationships, because they understand relationships should add to life, not become life itself. This is the difference between attachment and connection. Attachment says, I need you in order to be happy. Connection says, I enjoy sharing my happiness with you. Can you feel the difference? One creates pressure, the other creates freedom. And freedom is where genuine love breathes. No one enjoys carrying the responsibility of becoming another person's entire world. Healthy love grows when two complete lives walk together, not when one life disappears inside another. The unshakable woman never stops growing. She keeps reading, she keeps reflecting, she keeps asking difficult questions. Am I becoming wiser? Am I becoming calmer? Am I becoming more compassionate? These questions transform a life. Notice, none of them ask, how do I make someone love me? Because that is no longer the goal. The goal has become something greater, to become a person who naturally attracts healthy love. There is an ancient truth hidden inside nature. Flowers never chase butterflies. The flower simply blooms. When it becomes healthy, fragrance appears naturally. The butterfly arrives on its own. Become the flower. Focus less on chasing. Focus more on blooming. Bloom in your discipline. Bloom in your peace. Bloom in your health. Bloom in your purpose. Bloom in your kindness. Bloom in your wisdom. The right people are naturally drawn toward authentic growth, and those who are not will quietly continue walking. Let them. Life becomes lighter the moment you stop trying to convince everyone to stay. Some people are lessons, some are blessings. Wisdom knows the difference. One of the greatest signs of maturity is this. You stop taking every rejection personally. Sometimes people leave because their journey is different. Sometimes they leave because they are not ready. Sometimes they leave because they seek something else. None of these reasons define your worth. The sun does not stop shining because someone closes the curtains. Likewise, do not reduce your light because someone failed to appreciate it. Continue shining, not loudly, quietly, consistently. The unshakable woman also understands silence. She no longer feels the need to win every argument. She no longer explains herself to those committed to misunderstanding her. She speaks when words create clarity. She becomes silent when silence protects peace. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is space. And inside that space, wisdom grows. Think about a lake early in the morning. When the water becomes completely still, it reflects the mountains perfectly. The human mind is the same. Only a peaceful mind reflects truth clearly. An agitated mind reflects fear. So guard your inner world carefully. Choose what you watch. Choose what you listen to. Choose the conversations you repeatedly enter. Every influence becomes a seed, and every seed eventually becomes part of your character. Feed your mind with wisdom. Feed your heart with gratitude. Feed your spirit with purpose. Slowly, without even noticing, your entire presence changes. People begin responding differently, not because you demanded respect, because your energy quietly inspires it. And perhaps this is the greatest lesson of all. The one boundary that makes a man value you forever is not a sentence you memorize. It is not a technique. It is not a strategy. It is the decision to never betray your own soul for temporary approval. The woman who honors herself teaches others how to honor her. The woman who protects her peace teaches others how to approach her. The woman who values her own heart becomes impossible to replace. Not because she is perfect, because she is authentic. Authenticity cannot be copied, it cannot be borrowed, it cannot be imitated for long. It can only be lived. So from this day forward, walk a little slower, speak a little more intentionally, protect your peace without guilt, choose yourself without arrogance, love deeply without losing yourself, forgive without forgetting wisdom, trust without abandoning awareness. And remember, the strongest boundary is not built around your life. It is built within your heart. Once that inner boundary becomes unshakable, no rejection can destroy you, no opinion can define you, and no relationship can make you forget who you truly are. That is the woman who is never chased by fear, because she is guided by wisdom. That is the woman who is never controlled by loneliness, because she has become a friend to herself. And that is the woman whose presence leaves a mark long after she has walked away. If today's message touched something deep within your heart, do not let it remain only as inspiration. Turn it into daily practice. Every boundary you honor, every moment you choose self-respect over fear, every time you protect your peace without losing your kindness, you become stronger than yesterday. Remember, the deepest love you will ever experience begins with the relationship you build with yourself. When you stand firmly in your own worth, the world responds differently, and so do the people who enter your life. If this wisdom brought value to you, subscribe to the channel and join me on this journey of inner strength, clarity, and mindful living. Share this message with someone who needs to hear it today. And until we meet again, continue walking your path with patience, courage, and peace.